guys, and welcome to Salwyn Gaming Guides to Lee Sin top lane. This is going to be a normal game I was doing with my buddy Floppy, or you probably know him as Noobot Free to Kill, which is quite true in this case. This is not going to be a game I win. I'll throw that right out there. I will win my lane, but I won't win the game, and that is partly due to bad decisions that I make and largely due to my teammates being bad. But I do make some decisions that end up affecting the game later in the stages where I could have had a more positive effect, and we will go over those when they happen. Anyway, I start out with Cloth 5 on Lee Sin top lane because Lee Sin is naturally tanky in that top lane position, and by going Cloth 5 I have way more sustain, so that even if I get ganked I can just pop a few healing potions if I survive, obviously, but I should survive any gank due to my safeguard and iron will and my flash. So I should survive any gank that comes in early, and I should be able to just stay in lane and keep that XP and money coming in the early stages of the game to not fall behind. Now you can go boots 3 potions as well. It works just as well. Now we see Heimerdinger getting spotted there. So, sorry, I just had a little bit of a rush of air there. Anyway, they choose to invade here, trying to steal the red. Now this is very bad idea, since Lee Sin always starts red. If he starts blue, he's doing it wrong. So Lee Sin always starts red here. They do manage to burn a ignite from the other team here though, but I quickly ping them back. They know we're there. We have no element of surprise, or we have no chance of taking the red buff. So I just ping them back, choose to go the safe way, and as we see their Nautilus comes in to help out in case we were still around. Anyway, getting back into the lane now, the passive of Lee Sin is really effective. After Lee Sin uses an ability, his next 2 basic attacks gain 40% attack speed and returns 15 energy each. And that is really nice. That means that whenever you do a trade with someone, if you throw off a skill in the start of that trade, you're going to have an advantage, because you simply have that slight steroid. Even at level 1 you have a slight steroid that will help you do better damage trades, and that's really effective for Lee Sin. Anyway, against Talon I want to put some early pressure onto him. Now I know for a fact that Lee Sin is starting blue, and that means that he is going to be ganking level top or middle level 2. That is almost always the case. So I know he's going to be coming at some point, and I just want to be ready for it. Now I do hit level 2 before he arrives, so that does mean I have my Tempest. Now we do see him coming up here. He misses the Q, but I think he thought I would back off from the fight with Talon. Not quite sure why he thought that, but it did appear that he did think that. As we can see there, I do take some damage, but I keep my flash up. So I just choose to pop a healing potion or 2, go back in for a little bit of a damage trade onto Talon here. Now I have a good feeling that Lee Sin will still be around, simply for that second sneaky gank there. Now I do take a lot of damage from the minions here, but Talon has taken, well, almost equally much. They're Lee Sin flashing over the wall to try to get a Q, but it gets blocked by the minion. Holy smokes, I can't speak right now. Anyway, just staying back there, popping a few more of the healing potions. Should be popping one more. There we go. Simply just to stay healthy enough for me to stay in the lane and pick up all of this money and CS. Trying to see as well as possible on the turret here. Missing a few. That should be no secret to anyone watching. Anyway, using that safeguard iron will to just get some of my health back and picking up what I think to be a fair amount of that CS. Now let's have a look at the CS. It's 17 to 15. Talon obviously not doing the best job of CSing in this lane, but even though I've been ganked twice, I already do have the advantage now. The Talon doing a jump to me, the E I believe it is of Talon, and avoiding my Q kick, which is quite unfortunate, because if I had landed that Q onto him, I could have very possibly gone in for the kill. But I know for a fact that Lee Sin is stronger than Talon at this stage of the game. So I'm not really that scared of him. I have my Q at level 3. Sometimes I take it at level 2. Sometimes I take it at level 4. Sometimes I take it at level 3. It depends on what's happening in my lane. Anyway, I see Shaco coming up here as Lee Sin comes into gank. So I'm feeling kinda safe at a great distance on that Q lead there. Just jumping into shield Shaco there from any real damage. I mean, I still only have it level 1, but it still takes 40 damage off. Now that's a good auto attack at this state of the game. So getting that shield off, even though it doesn't mean that much, it still makes a little bit of a difference, and it gets me into melee range of the enemies. Now Talon gets too low to stay in lane, so I just move past his turret in order to pick up this farm while my minions are getting picked up by the turret. So this means that he is losing experience, he is losing money, while I am gaining an experience lead and a money lead in this lane. Now what you want to build for Lee Sin is you want to build Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst is really strong. If you're winning the lane, or at least not losing the lane, going straight for like Bloodthirster build is really quite beneficial for you, because that gives a lot of early game power. If you're losing the lane, you might want to build a bit more defensive, like double Dorans, triple Dorans, maybe even. But if you have that early strength, as I have had in this lane, you can go straight for that Bloodthirst. I choose to pick up the Ninja Tappy in the start of the game here, basically because I'm against Talon, so it will reduce Talon's damage. Plus I'm against the Lee Sin gank, and he has been ganking quite a few times, so that extra damage reduction onto him as well will help me in any future ganks. Right now. Now I may choose to switch it out later in the game. That is within my reach, so to speak. But as of right now, I don't need to switch it out. Anyway, go straight in and put a lot of damage onto Talon here. Simply just using the abilities that I have at my disposal. Getting the last bit of E onto him there, and as soon as I'm back into lane, he is at 20%. Now this means that I can simply just go offensive. If he comes too close now, I can easily kill him, since I did just get my level 6, so I do have my ultimate. So if he comes too close now, I will kill him. Now we see him moving in here. If he comes in range of my E, I will simply just straight out kill him. There we go. We see the E coming onto him. He's moving straight in front of me, so I just throw out my Q, close the gap, and use my ultimate to take him down. And there is the power of Lee Sin in lane. Now you want to max your E and W first. W gives you a massive amount of lane sustain, as well as fight sustain and team fight sustain. Because not only does it give you a little shield, it gives your teammates a shield if used on them, and it gives you a great amount of spell vamp and lifesteal for those auto attacks and Qs. So that is really a great build for him to go into lane. Maxing either E or W first. Maxing Q first can also be beneficial, but I feel this is stronger. I like this. This is a lot more. You don't have to hit your skill shot. You cannot get duped running this build. You simply have the secure damage. This is what I'm going to get. This is what I'm going to get every time. Whereas with the Q, you have a chance to miss it or hit a minion or something, and that means that you all of a sudden don't have that damage in that fight. But with the E and W, you have that strength in the team fight every single time. Now I see Talon here trying to put some damage onto me, but I'm not really that effective, as I did pick up those Ninja Tappy early, so I'm running high armor and I have a good amount of lifesteal. Now there's a lot of minions right there. I don't really want to fight them. I just want to move him towards my own minions as well, so that when he attacks me, not only do I take damage from his minions, but he takes damage from mine as well. Now again, he's low. He just got back into lane and he's low already, and trying to trade with me, which is a big mistake because I have that amazing sustain in this lane. Picking up a CS with my Q there, and we see Lee Sin coming into gank here. Now I choose to flash this because he does have red buff. I'm in a bad position. I could have possibly W to a minion, but in the moment I just wanted to get out to make sure I didn't take any unnecessary damage, because if I don't take damage, that means I can stay in lane. And now Talon has gone back again, which means I get a bigger lead in experience and gold. than I had before. So just keep increasing that lead. Right now we're 71 to 38 CS in this lane. Plus I am 2 levels ahead. So this means that no matter what, I can fight him if he comes into the lane. The items that I have bought for the first round of buying is still as much as he can afford at this point. So even though I have 1500 gold on me, he cannot buy items worth more than what I have. And we do see that being the case. He has a double Dorrance and boots of speed. And that's it. Now I choose to stay in the lane to get my BF sword, because when I go back and get my BF sword, I have even more of an advantage. I mean, obviously right now the lane is actually even, except for the fact that I'm ahead in level, so that means I have more power. So I can actually still kill him in the lane, but it will not be as fast or as strong. So I just want to get the last bit of experience here. We see Lee Sin coming in again. I just quickly put an E onto Talon, because this means he cannot engage onto me. If he tries, he's just gonna be too slow to stay on me and do that damage that he needs to get off. Now I do have the money for the BF sword at this point, so I choose to go back and get it. Even though the lane is not pushed to his turret, I just want to go back and get it, because I know I can kill him as soon as I come back into lane if he gets out of position. Okay, so we got that sorted. Now what you want to build after the BF sword is, depending on how fit the other team is, you want to build some strength, some durability in those team fights, and a good way to do that is getting Frozen Mallet. Frozen Mallet gives you that slow, which helps you stay close to your opponents, as well as giving you that extra health, which really also helps you in any team fight situation. So unless your opponents get super fed, you're going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with at that point in time. Now we see here, just picking up as much CS as possible. Talon is missing, and I did call that out. So I'm telling my team to be careful. Heimerdinger getting killed for no reason in mid lane there. Bot lane overextended, getting killed off by a good gank there. Even though we had Shaker down there, I think that was a counter game. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but anyway, bot lane getting killed. Just putting a Q onto Talon. Actually picking up the trade 1-for-1, but dying to, that's the 2-for-1 for them now. Now I see Ari is low, and I know she wants to base, but she wants to push this lane out first. So I move up behind her, just in case she's gonna try to run away. I move up behind her. She used her ultimate, she used her flash in the kill on Heimerdinger. So I just move down there. I make sure that she doesn't have an easy charm onto me, and then just get the cripple to make sure that I hit my Q, and then just Q ult to her for a very easy kill there. Quite simple how we execute that. If you want to check that out again, you can of course just rewind the video and see what happened. Anyway, Talon on the turret here, playing very offensively, and if I can just safeguard to a minion and get the slow on him, and right now I can just kill him. If I can stay on him, I can simply just kill him at this point. Now he turns to fight for some unknown reason. Anyway, trying to juke around. We see Lee Sin is in middle, so Lee Sin is not coming to kill me, and just throwing out the Q to pick up the kill. Now this is one of the things you want to be very careful about when playing against Lee Sin, is you cannot get away from him if he first gets near you, because he has the slow, he has the Q. So you want to be very cautious about how you play, and as well when you play Lee Sin, be very aware of how your opponent is positioned, and how easily you can close the distance and get the damage you want to get onto him, because you have that sustain from the Safeguard Iron Will. Now, let's try to go over the abilities a little bit here. I'm going to lock the camera on myself and do that. Now we did go over the passive, so let's go to the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. Now the first use is the Sonic Wave. Lee Sin projects a discordant wave of sound to locate his enemies, dealing 50 plus 57 at this level. It's level 1, but at this item level. Physical damage to the first enemy it encounters. If Sonic Wave hits, Lee Sin can cast Resonating Strike for the next 3 seconds. Resonating Strike, the second tab of the Q. Lee Sin dashes to the enemy hit by Sonic Wave, dealing 50 plus 57, the exact same scaling as the first hit. Physical damage plus 8% of their missing health, max 400 versus damage versus monsters. So if Talon is missing 1000 health, that means my Q is going to deal an additional 80 damage to him at this point in time, which is quite good, and I believe that increases as well with higher levels of the skill. Now again, look, Talon again close to my turret. We're going to do the exact same thing. We safeguard to a minion, put the slow onto him, stay on him with the Q, and just execute him with the ultimate. And again, simply because he gets a little bit out of position, and that amazing mobility of Lee Sin just allows us to pick up the kill almost before he notices that we are back. So really, really wonderful. That is a part of the mobility of Lee Sin that I was talking about, and the reason why I really love to play him, because he can just bounce around to minions and friendlies and enemies and whatnot. He simply has that really fun playstyle top lane, and he's really strong top lane as well, borderline OP, maybe even OP. I'm not quite sure, but at least borderline OP here. I don't even notice that I'm being hit by the turret until it hits me, and through panic I choose to safeguard myself instead of just jumping to the minion behind me. Now I move towards this mid lane again because Ahri again is pushing quite heavily. Now she has taken down our turret, and I do want to come in behind her, but I do not see Lee Sin, I do not see the enemy bot lane, so I just want to make sure that I don't get caught out here by something foolish. Just going in to check if I can see her. I cannot, but she moves into our jungle. I see her right down here, so I want to try to make something happen here. Now I do put a Q onto her. She flashes out of my E, so I cannot stay near her. Now I want to help out my bot lane, because at this point in time my bot lane is, let's see, 0-1-2 and 1-3, so they are quite behind. Now this is the first mistake I make in the game. They saw me right here. They know I could be coming bot lane, so they are going to see if they can make something happen. Now I ping on Ahri here, trying to make my team come help out, but I engage too quickly. See Lee Sin coming down, but it's too late. I get charmed. I kick them away from me, but it is not enough. I do get picked off by the ignite. 0.1 second before I get my shield up, and I lose my turret as well. So a lot of advantage going to the enemy team here. That is one of the first mistakes I make of the game, trying to affect that bot lane, where I should have just left it alone, because I was winning my lane. I was getting stronger and stronger without having to really worry. So at this point in time, if the enemy had been pushed to this position, that would have been the right call, but going for the tower dive after being spotted right here quite a while ago was a mistake, because they have the time to react to it. Anyway, Heimerdinger pushing out my lane, Ahri pushing down the mid lane, and some more action going down bot lane. This double flash nearly avoiding the E from Lee Sin there. Whew. Anyway, as we can see, I've picked up the Phage, which gives me a little bit more of a tankish feel. Trying to see if they're just hanging around. I don't find anyone right there. So just moving around. I'm going to stay near this bot lane because they seem to be very aggressive here. My lane is pushed and the tower is down, so I don't really need to be there right now. Mid lane is it's doing okay-ish, but I really want something to happen here now. Shaco jumping out of range from me too fast, and me missing my Q. Now I do get the E onto him, but Lee Sin very quick to react, and of course Nautilus still down there since he is the support. But just choose to back out of this engagement out there. Now Shaco not dodging the Q, but gets out with his own Q, and is saved there. Ahri coming down though, so want to be careful. I want to get Shaco out of there. I want to get everybody into a safe position. Cockmore here playing very cocky, simply going towards that turret while there are 4 people down here and we are only 3 people. This is a clear mistake. You should never go to a position like this where people can simply just get onto you really quickly. For example, Nautilus is up here. We know that he is around this area, so the ultimate could come out onto Cockmore and he would be caught. He has no flash. And as we see here, Ahri comes in, actually misses the thing. What's it called? The charm. And me having moved away, I saw nothing was going on. So I just moved away. They were not going to make a push while I was there. So I just moved away, picking up the kill by kicking Lee Sin into Ahri. And through that being able to back off safely before anyone can come to help them out. Oh, that's a lot of talking. Oh yeah. Anyway, just shoving out bot lane. Kog'Maw just died. He's not going to be able to pick up this farm. Shaco, for some unknown reason, trying to go for the kill again, not dodging the Q from Lee Sin. And I know I cannot go over there. See Corki come down and just choose to back out through my minions with that safeguard. Talon again starting to push that top lane quite heavily. At this point in the game I am 5-1-1. My bot lane is 0-3 and 1-4. So the enemy bot lane quite strong. Corki 4-2, mid lane 4-2, Lee Sin 6-1-4. So the enemy team is far ahead. And at this point in time, I'm thinking, yeah, I can't really carry this. I should have stayed top though. That is the mistake I was talking about earlier. I should have stayed top for all of this. Because I didn't make a difference bot lane. If anything, I gave them more kills, so that was a mistake altogether. I should have simply just stayed top lane and continued to increase that lead that I had. And hope that my bot lane would stop feeding, even though that is unlikely. As my mid lane dies again to a 3-man gank, being out in the middle with no wards. If you've seen my mid lane guys, you know I'm a very high preacher, whatever. I like mid lane wards. I think it's super important, maybe even crucial to have them. Especially when you have your turret down. Anyway, coming in here behind the enemy team, putting the Q onto Ahri, getting ulted there, kicking her away. Hoping to get a kill, but for some reason I didn't. I'm not sure if they burned a heal or something onto her. Not quite sure. But that was a bit of a what's it called? A desperation maneuver. Simply because I get knocked up by the Nautilus ultimate. And caught through that out in a really bad position. So I just want to disengage the fight, but sadly don't manage to do so. Kog'Maw getting caught there. And yeah. There's no way I can carry this, but I hope from this guide that you have gotten the feel for the laning phase, if nothing else, of how this is done. Like, the laning phase is really strong, and you should win it against most people. You should win against Warwicks, you should win against obviously Talons, and you should win against most people top lane. That is only the two I've recently tried, so that I remember this is a safe win. So you can use it as a counter pick to Warwick. You won't be able to kill Warwick as easily in lane, but you will be able to out-farm him and zone him early if you have sufficient safety from a gank. Now here at this point I'm tilting. Tilting is when something bad happens and it starts to snowball for you. You make bad decisions, you start playing worse than you normally do. That is tilting. So from that first time that I went down here to gank, I just started tilting. I was duo queuing with Floppy, and I said to him that was a bad call. I should have just stayed top lane. And I just kept making bad calls. I stayed bot lane way too long. Only picked up an assist and a kill. And simply just overall, actually only a kill. Only picked up one kill for those. I think I was down here for 6 minutes, and only picked up one kill while Talon was free farming top lane, and is now 20 CS ahead of me almost. So that was a really bad decision. I should have stayed top lane, kept increasing my lead, but I did make that wrong decision. And therefore, partly therefore, I'm unable to carry this game. Now, a lot of the reason why I'm unable to carry this game also is because we're 9-20. I mean, my bot lane and my mid lane has been feeding throughout the entire game. And therefore I cannot do anything. Anyway, Lee Sin here trying to trade with me in this mid lane for some unknown reason. But he eventually he does just back off and calls it quits, so to speak. And I just pick up the farm that's left in here. Nice and easy. Anyway, my top lane here. Look at this guy. Look at this fucking idiot. He is 1-5-1. Stays top lane for like an hour and a half. And just dies instantly. And this is why I can't carry this game. People in this game, Floppy including, I mean 1-0-4-3. It's not it's not the worst, but he has done nothing to help the game out in our favor. Nothing that I know of, at least. So, and Cotmore playing badly. Shaco not playing too greatly. Has made some good moves, but still is not tipping the scales in our favor. I'm the only one at this point who is like strong enough to actually go for an engage. Shaco being really squishy at this point. He cannot tank. He can do a moderate amount of damage, but with only the Wriggles Lantern and the what's it called, the recurve bow, not really able to put out that high amount of damage that we do need because our AD carry is so underfed. Anyway, Nautilus getting the hook onto me there. I do have my buddies right behind me, Cockmore and everybody else, but simply not being able to deal the damage. Now again, I kick Lee Sin into Ari and picking up the kill that way. That's the second time it's got to start being annoying for her. Trying to protect my Humdinger there by using that safeguard and do absorb some damage. Sadly, Shaco getting caught out of position here, and at this point in the game, I know it's a loss. There is simply nothing that can be done from our point of view. I mean, from my point of view, I cannot do anything differently. I cannot engage in a fight that will mean that we will win. If the other team, unless the other team throws, then it's definitely possible. But with a 5-2 against a 1-6 and an 8-4 against a 1-6, it is simply impossible for our team to win a team fight straight up. Unless the other team goes from something really stupid, we cannot win this game. And because I tilted, I start complaining, because that's what I do. Whenever I play a team like this, where I go 4-1 top lane and still lose the game because of my teammates, I get annoyed. I get aggravated because I always try hard. I mean, I wouldn't play this game at all if I didn't want to win, and therefore I always try hard. Actually hitting the Q there, even though it looked like it went through, and executing with the ultimate. But I always try hard, and that means that sometimes whenever I do good and my team drags me down, I get a little bit angry, I get a little bit aggravated, because it annoys me that I have been trying hard and doing good, and still it doesn't matter because my team is useless. It annoys me greatly. And therefore I tilt sometimes and I get a little bit angry, but the laning phase of Lee Sin and the teamfight phase remains the same, and this guide should be able to provide you with all the information you need on how to actually execute this. You know the build, the Bloodthirster into Frozen Mallet, into Atmas, into perhaps a Guardian Angel and a Last Whisper. Last Whisper perhaps before Guardian Angel, unless, as in this case, the other team is fed beyond belief. You want to build according to the other team. For example, if the other team had 0 kills when I finished my my Bloodthirster, I could have gone straight for Last Whisper to get even more damage and make even more of an impact in the team fight. But because the other team was so fed, I had to go Frozen Mallet instantly. This is normally a good build, going Frozen Mallet second, because it gives you that slow and that sustainability in team fights. But I could have, if the other team was really weak, I could have gone for even more damage through the Last Whisper. But that was not the case. So you want to kind of build your build around what the other team is, what their items is, how strong they are, who is strong. For example, if the AP is strong, consider getting some resistance. If the AD is strong, consider getting some armor. And if none of them are strong, consider getting more damage, for example. You want to progress your build with the way the game is progressing. Now anyway, I hope you liked the guide and realized this was not the best game, as always. Don't want to watch the defeat screen on a guide, but I mean, this shows you what you need to know. Regardless of being a loss, this shows you what you need to know. So I hope you can use this, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Nothing I can do. Now you just watched it, and now you think you wasted a lot of time. That'll teach you. Anyway, if you enjoyed the guide, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that's about it from me. Until next time, have a good day.